What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heaven, New York, calling from Zoom again, and this time we are here with John Gallagher of the almighty Dying Fetus. It is great to have you here, man. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
Yeah. It's so awesome to have you here. The new album, Make Them Beg for Death, is absolutely kick-ass. Was this continuing in a similar vein as Wrong One to Fuck With, being that this was, it's been like almost 5-6 years since the release of this, just as long between Reign Supreme and Wrong One to Fuck With, or is this like a new beginning for Dying Fetus in a way?
I would say it's a continuation because we're just, continuing rusty in our formula of death metal. We're not, I didn't change much about it, just try to improve on our sound, if anything. So I'd say it's a continuation. We're not trying to throw any curveballs or any left field directions or anything like that. So it's just, traditional brutal death metal, which we kind of started with,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare Purification Through Violence to now, I mean, it is all just pure relentlessness throughout the entire catalog. We're definitely not a band where we don't have to worry about, any gentle love ballads coming from you guys, or
Right.
we don't have to worry about a Dying Fetus Black album.
Yeah. Unless we do something as a joke, I have a little bit of sense of humor sometimes. So, if we do something, which we've done, like, fun cock rock songs like on Grotesque Impalement and a couple songs like that, just to show we have a humorous side and that we take this, not always so seriously, like we're tough guys, trying to kill people. It can be fun, and we sometimes show that with our music. But yeah, basically we've just tried to improve our style, our techniques and everything, and just hone it up and stuff, and just refine our skills and then with each release, but we're just remaining true to death metal and what we do, and, what we've done from the start.
Definitely. And I mean, I've always said that death metal is evil music for good people, because as somebody who's interviewed everybody from Cannibal Corpse to you guys to Monstrosity, I could always expect the death metal interviews to be always the friendliest and the easiest to work with. But has there ever do you almost sometimes feel, by continuing that formula, is there ever room for experimentation in a way? Like, I don't want to say like that you guys are, that you guys have just like sort of one style, or that you're one dimensional by any means, because you definitely showcase that brutality. But like, I am wondering, does it ever feel like that there is sort of like a formula that you tend to stick with in a way?
Yeah, there's certain guidelines or walls you can stay within with the stuff you can. You have a certain amount of beats you can use. Blast beat, flying double bass with halftime snare. So you're sort of limited, like you can't. I don't know. I mean, you can do whatever you wanted, but the fans kind of expect a certain sound, I believe, and that's what we're here for. If I'm going to do anything differently, it would be some kind of solo side project or what have you, and if you want to get crazy. But there's certain things we should not do with female vocals or this and that, or keyboards, or things like that. So I guess you're kind of pigeonholed in a sense, also with this, but just got to like kind of work within the style and make it as cool and interesting as possible. Really, that's the challenge of all this. So yeah, man, it's like kind of going around with a good kind of thing. This sounds good. Get on with that, kind of record that, keep it away, and then try to build upon it and such. So
yeah,
but yeah.
I wanted to talk something about a little bit an older album, because it was my first Dying Fetus album, and that being Stop at Nothing. Like many death metal fans, hearing One Shot, One Kill for the first time was the hand that pulled you through the void of death metal. But how would you say Stop at Nothing, because I felt like that was almost a turning point for Dying Fetus, because when you compare War of Attrition, I felt like that was a big turning point, and Destroy the Opposition and Killing on Adrenaline and Purification Through Violence was very different from. I feel like that there was a big evolution at Stop at Nothing as opposed to those previous three albums.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, for that album in particular, it was a big changeover for the band. There, drastic lineup change um, there. So I had to put a lot of effort into Stop at Nothing. I remember that, just really like writing One Shot, One Kill and a lot of those songs and just really focusing and trying really hard to come up with something special. Yeah, so that was a good release. One Shot did well for us. We still play that song live all the time. We try to take it out of our set list and then people were like bitching about it. So we put it back in there and, yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of people kind of made fun of that cover a little bit. They're like, you put Kevin Talley changing a tire on the cover, because he kind of, dude on the cover kind of resembles Talley a little bit. But, yeah, that was kind of a humorous thing with that album for a while. Why don't you kick out Talley and put him on your cover?
Yeah. And you know what? Hadn't it not been on you, I'd never thought that was the case from always looking at that cover. I thought it was some guy like hitting a hammer like on somebody or something like that.
Yeah, it is. But that was kind of a running joke, little joke for, of course, people have forgotten that. But
yeah.
Well, yeah, man, with every release we try really hard, but that one came out well too. So.
Yeah. And do you feel like One Shot, One Kill is almost kind of like your Hammer Smashed Face or your Homage for Satan in a way, where it is kind of like...
Right. Well, a lot of people praise the Lord. Like, we keep it in our set rotation and stuff, and then we kind of get sticked up and we'll take it out, and people will bitch. Well, then a lot of people say our like inner Sandman, if you will, is to praise the some of our old bands mostly, so. But then now I think it's turned more to Subjected for a Beating. That's kind of our top number or whatever song right now, so. But it's just trying to keep all the songs and keep new songs in the set list. That's kind of the hard part, because any band, once you get all these albums and create all these different songs, it's kind of hard to pick and choose what to play. But yeah, we got a couple Enter Sandmans, or hits, I guess you'd say for us.
Yeah, well, at least you avoid your Saint Angers, I must say. I think Trey. I think Trey.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trey.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Yep. But like, and you kind of answered this question, but like, I'd imagine it gets harder to put a set list together with every album that you put out, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, picking and choose. We do Grotesque Impalement a lot. That's always a fun song. We keep that one in there, and certain numbers. But yeah. So this new album we're doing Unbridled Fury, Compulsion for Cruelty. We're going to Throw Them in the Van, and we're going to also include Feast of Ashes. So we're 4 new songs in the set, along with some older songs. So we mix it up, try to keep the shit flowing, and but yeah, we're excited to play these new songs live. We've been playing a couple of them, and they go over really well. So
yeah,
that's always a cool thing. Playing your new shit and people being well received and stuff. So you couldn't ask for anything more, So.
Definitely. And when you guys just played on Chaos and Carnage, that was without a doubt. I've seen Dying Fetus play live numerous times, and I think the Chaos and Carnage performance recently was by far the best Dying Fetus performance you've ever had.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that was a good one. We had a fun time on that tour.
Yeah. I've noticed you've played with like a lot of like younger deathcore bands, like with the Suicide Silences and the Acacia Strains and whatnot. Have you noticed, especially over the years since you've been around for so long, have you noticed different types of audiences or different even types of metalheads?
Yeah, certainly. That's kind of the point of all this, playing with other styles, crossing over. Yeah, that sometimes we catch a lot of flack from our old school bands. Like, they don't want us to be playing with these type bands, and they want us to be playing with all death metal bands. But they have to realize this is a business. We have to get people in the door, to make a lot of times these all death metal old school packages don't do so well, to be honest. They don't cross over, and it's just, catering to one style too much. So you have to kind of, try to bring in some other people and different bands, different genres, and just have a bigger show, bigger production. And that's what carries those bands, forward. We have to have successful turnouts and everything to continue with this. So we do that. We're about to do that again. So, hey man, it's just, we're all basically doing the same thing, even if it's metalcore, deathcore, brutal death metal. It's all like heavy guitar, just extreme vocals. It's just a different take on it, I feel like. People shouldn't hate on bands so much, It's just like, people have to try different things. You can't always, just have a whole world of Cannibal Corpse bands, clones. That wouldn't work. So people, have to try different shit, and that's what makes the things interesting. So, but yeah, man, we play with a lot of different bands and stuff, and that's cool,
Yeah.
That's the way it should be, I feel like.
I know it got canceled in the wake of COVID, but like you were supposed to do a tour with As I Lay Dying in a Mirror, and I thought that was going to be really.
That was going to be, yeah, that's it, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not going to work for everyone. We've done some stuff with Heaven Shall Burn, and over there in Germany. They're really big in Germany, so we tried that out, and I don't know how well it did for us, because you could see, you look out in the audience sometimes with these different bands, when you support a, larger band, and sometimes you see a lot of blank faces, and people are just like, whatever, I'm waiting for the next, the band I want to see. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but yeah, you got to try. But that tour, got canceled due to COVID. But As I Lay Dying, I was kind of wondering how that was going to go, and whatever. But
yeah, well, you can make it happen again, and just don't forget to add a New York City date into it next time, please.
Yeah. We'll pretty much play with whomever, we're open to whatever,
Yeah, and it works both ways. I was talking with Rob Barrett of Cannibal Corpse a couple years ago, and when they did Mayhem Fest in 2014, they were playing before Avenged Sevenfold and Asking Alexandria and Korn and, like, a lot of those bands. And, like, I was telling them, I know diehard death metal fans wearing some of the most underground, like, aborted shirts and, dying shirts because of that one tour that they saw Cannibal Corpse on. So it does work out for the best.
Yeah. It happens. I know they've done a bunch of tours, and they're doing the same thing. You got to try. Once you preach to the choir so much, you can only preach so much to that choir. You got to try to get out there and hit some other bases and stuff. And I know they toured with Children of Bodom and stuff in the past, and all that. They've crossed over, so that's kind of what you have to do. At some point, so.
Yeah, definitely. Get on that Nickelback tour when you get a chance.
Yeah, we would do it. We would do it. Tell them to call us up. But that's the thing, a lot of these bands, bigger bands, they don't want to touch Dying Fetus. They don't want to, they don't want to, be related or, oh, you support that. I feel like there's a lot of politics. So we'll see how it goes with this new one. I'm anxious to see if any bigger bands are really going to take us out, or if they're just going to be afraid, or what have you.
Yeah. To see you guys with aborted, though, that was one hell of a team there, I must say.
Yeah, they're sick and great drummer. Yeah, they have a great t-shirt collection. I noticed. Yeah, great band, good guys. Yeah.
Kind of going a little bit more into the artistic aspect of Dying Fetus in a way, do you express a similar side of yourself as a vocalist as you do as a guitarist in a way? Do they express the same side of you on an emotional level in a way, or are they almost two separate arts?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess it's different, I mean, similar in a way of, you're trying to go for this brutal sound, but, so you try to get the most brutal guitar sound, and you try to get the most brutal kind of vocal sound, so somehow it ties, but there's a different feeling, I guess, when you're playing guitar, than vocals. You have to be really mad, when you're doing vocals, and try to really be fired up, or to do this kind of voice. But guitar, you can kind of sit back and noodle around and just like kind of enjoy it more than like doing vocals and all. Playing leads. It's fun. That's what I always enjoyed about guitar. Like I started off playing saxophone when I was a kid, and I was like, I don't like this. I'm blowing into an instrument. This kind of sucks. This is giving me a headache. Let me play guitar. This is cool. I don't have to try so hard. You know. So yeah, it's kind of different, but the same thing. It all ties together. With this.
Has there, has there ever been a time where conceptually a dying fetus song was born? No evil pun intended. Where that like maybe like a lyrical idea or a concept maybe helped guide the direction of the music, or have you always been music first before any lyrics come into play?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you come up like bring up One Shot, One Kill again. That was kind of came up with the title before the song. So just at least for that chorus line, it's like one shot, one kill. Kind of work with the line. Sometimes that happens, come up with some line and you kind of work the riff around it, and it can inspire an idea, kind of, But usually it's the riff that kind of comes first, and then you put the vocal on top. But sometimes, like Throw Them in a Van, that was like a whole like kind of like thing that popped up, sporadically just one day, and it just kind of came up that title first, and then worked the song around it and what have you. But you never know. Sometimes it could be a melody you hear, like on TV or something, and you kind of that's a pretty cool melody. I don't even rip that off and try to make it into a brutal riff. Like you never know where an idea is going to come from. I'm always listening, always for song titles too. Like a lot of times I don't come up with my own song titles, but it's paying attention to the world, and somebody will say something and go, oh, that's kind of cool. Let me jot that down and keep that. So like When the Trend Ends, that new song we did, someone else, an old sound guy came up with that. We were riding, on tour, and he just like came up with it. So that's a good title. I said, you're right. Let me write that down and keep it. So just with all this stuff, it's just got to be in tune with everything, and then kind of apply it to the death metal.
Well, I think what I love is actually about your song titles is you have you have albums like Stop at Nothing or Wrong One to Fuck With, which is very almost New York City hardcore. I'm pretty sure if I showed that title to like people would think that that's an Agnostic Front album, but Make Them Beg for Death. Make Them Beg for Death or Purification Through Violence. I mean, that sounds like a death metal album. So I think you can almost be kind of like, in a way, like a thought-provoking or the Thinking Man's a death metal band in that regard.
Yeah, it takes time for that, man. Like this last album, every album, like one of the most challenging parts for this stuff for me is like coming to a conclusion, deciding on the album title. Because it's very important. It's so important. It can ruin a title or an album if it's too complex or like wordy or it just sounds weird. Something that doesn't roll off the tongue. It can kind of hurt the band, hurt the album. So it's just challenging. It took months. I was going back and forth with different titles like, how about Chapters of Tribulation? I'm like, that sounds like Chapters of Tribulation. That's cool, but it just doesn't have that X factor, or a lot of times I'll come up with something and then like anyone else, I'll Google it, look on Spotify, and oh shit, a million other bands have done this, and so that's the hard part, man. Is coming up with a good album title that hasn't been used to death or something. So
Yeah. Talk to Jamie Josta about the Lyric Police. He'll give you that one. No more Rise, no more Suffer, no more Salvation, no more Evolution. That's a new one. Like so.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, you wear things out. Like all the words, and then you're like, fuck. Then you may look for different words in something that hasn't been used, but then maybe that's going to be too weird or something like that.
Or come off.
So that's yeah. It's challenging, man. Yeah.
But that's what keeps it going. And you led me perfectly into the final question I wanted to ask you is because I've noticed one thing that a lot of death metal bands do have in common. You know, Corpse Grinder has said this, Glenn Benton has said this, you know, but like a lot of people don't necessarily bring their personal lives into their lyrics in a way. They're not going to talk about, you know, anything from a relationship to, you know, like a sort of viewpoint or anything traumatic. But has there ever been a time where maybe your personal life or your personal experiences influenced a Dying Fetus song? Because every painting is a self-portrait in a way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We haven't done that, like, you know, like, yeah, I just, like a lot of emo bands may sing about their girlfriend or this and that, or, yeah, their personal life, they broke up. But I guess you can take that hardship or that, you know, yeah, we've taken our anger, our emotion, maybe just for like, you know, that's the way to do it, right? Like, you breaks up with you, and you hit off or whatever you did, you take that emotion and put it into the music and try to make it, you know, just all, you know, very intense or what have you. But yeah, yeah, we don't really talk too much about personal stuff. I'm trying to think, you know, of a particular song that has to, but yeah, you're kind of right about that. But it's just, yeah, keep that shit to yourself. Nobody wants to hear us really whining about stuff, right? That's not a good look if you're whining about your personal life. Oh, I got to pay my taxes, or my dog died. Or, a lot of countries are true that death metal is just kind of singing about brutal shit and what have you. But I think I've seen a couple bands that kind of sing about killing their girlfriend or their wife or this and that. I think that's been done a bit with that. Well, yeah, we have done that.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. But.
Yeah, but after Eminem did that, I think that's just a sellout subject matter at this point. So.
Yeah, that's kind of cheesy, right? I'm gonna kill my wife. You know, yeah, whatever. It's not hard enough for death metal. People. That's one thing about this. People are kind of desensitized by all this. You know, you can't really shock them too much anymore with any of this stuff. You know, they've come to expect all this kind of vulgar talk or what have you. You know, just accepted, I guess, at this point.
Yep, exactly. Sing about quantum physics. You'll make people's heads really melt.
Whoa, yeah.
So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today, and most of all, thank you for another fantastic album. Just with Make Them Beg for Death coming out. Anything else you'd like to promote that you're allowed to say at this moment? I'll see you in Warsaw in November. So.
Yeah, man. Just to come out to this tour, you know, we're doing in November, man. Just make Them Beg for Death tour. I've got a lot of cool bands, and thanks to everyone supporting the album, the band. We love you all, man. Seriously, man. Yeah. I raised my cup of coffee to you, man. Thank you, guys, man. Thank you, bro, for having me, and we'll see you out there, dude.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thank you, everybody. And I love this. Coffee with John Gallagher of Dying Fetus. Everybody, we are here. We are here with Dying Fetus. Make Them Beg for Death. Be sure to pick that up. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York.